Hey guys, how are we? Just thought I'd do a quick video this morning because I did put a notice on the Facebook group Overseas Exiles, and just sort of let people know, hey, be cautious of this increasing 10-year bond yield, because the higher that goes, the more it's going to affect equities, Bitcoin, interest rates, the whole schmozzle. Don't know if you can hear that, but just up on the hill over there, you can see a lot of fireworks. So that's the monks making a sacrifice or whatever, an offering to the spirits up there. I don't know, it happens all the time. So anyway, I apologise if you can't hear me that well. But yeah, so we're in for some really interesting times here as the markets sort of appear to be melting down. I'm not sure just how far this is going to go, but we're certainly in a period of time that is very unpredictable, and I've been saying this for, I don't know, weeks, if not months, just saying, hey, look, keep an eye on this. This is going to be really significant. Keep an eye on the 10-year Treasury bond. And it has gone up really quickly. I think at the moment it's 3.4. If it's not 3.4, it's not far off it. It might be 3.366, I think. So, but it's not boding well. And the problem is when you have these high sort of bond yields, people are concerned about inflation, so they want to get their money out of the money out of the debt market, and they want to get it into something else. I am assuming that they're going to go into commodities, so you're probably going to see gold and silver and other commodities go up. Probably going to see an increase in the oil price. That means increased prices at the petrol pump. Increased energy prices. You know, I'm not giving financial advice, but I'm just saying this is my take on things. And so I think a good investment would be commodities, but it means you're going to pay a lot more for, say, oil or petrol. You're going to pay a lot more at the petrol pump. You're going to pay a lot more for your electricity, and the equities market, you know, could collapse very, very significantly. So we saw the Bitcoin market and the crypto market collapse yesterday. So it's down to 22, just over 22 at the moment, and probably going to see that go down. I sort of saw on one of the charts yesterday, the bottom was 17,900. It could go lower. I have seen guys like Max Wright say they predict 15,000, and that's on a video from a long while back. So yeah, just on my chart reading, I saw maybe 17,900, but I don't know. Could be anywhere, and if you get involved in this market, you're probably, I don't know. You're obviously a very good investor, or you're insane. So yeah, very, very interesting times up ahead. Did see problems with the Bank of Japan, and that's going to be, once again, with the same issues. Japan is in a real spot of bother, and I've been saying it for a while. Property prices in Australia are going to correct massively, despite what real estate agents are going to tell you. You're going to see a correction in the market. It just is what it is. So yeah, did see another thing that I thought was of interest at the moment, and that was a technician who was working on the AI program for Google. Basically said that this AI program is now a sentient being and has the mental capacity of an 7 or 8 year old child. When you consider that that's a 7 or 8-year-old child with knowledge of pretty much everything that's on the web. So whatever is on Google or on the net, it has access to, and has the capacity to hold all that information at once and then synthesize that information and draw conclusions from deep learning to see the relationship between huge amounts of data points. This is a particularly scary situation. So the other thing that's of real concern to me, and it may seem a little bit arbitrary to some people, but just the extent to which places like Google have gone to discredit this AI technician and basically say that he's a fundamentalist Christian, part of a mystic, Christian cult, and that he's a little bit weird and has some obscure ideas. That to me is very concerning, because that is a PR campaign, and I want to know what the hell they're hiding. Why do you need to institute some sort of PR campaign if everything's okay? Why do you need to discredit somebody who has concerns? So big warning signs for me with this, I think it's called Lambda, this AI program. And as I said, he's basically reported that it is now a sentient or conscious being, and has a mental capacity of a 7 or 8-year-old. So major concerns there. We could be looking at Terminator coming to fruition, jumping off the big screen and into reality. So very interesting times indeed. Just looking at the situation here in Thailand. So we're reevaluating the situation here at the moment, and I know a lot of people are sort of saying, oh, it's better to get out of places like Australia. I did see someone post on the Overseas Exiles Facebook group about going to northern Queensland and then going somewhere else and not sure about whether or not to head overseas. I've been saying this for a while, that one of the biggest things that you wanted to take into consideration is community, and you need to go where you have a community that is supportive and that you can work in, and you can support each other. Because if this is a massive financial meltdown, which it could be, I was hoping that this would sort of play out until August, September, or maybe early next year. But I'm just sort of waiting for some sort of black swan event now to basically be the nail in the coffin in regards to the financial markets. And it could be the end of the financial system as we know it. That's how severe I think this is. And if you've got your money in the system, so to speak, then you could stand to lose everything. Or you could get cents on the dollar back. Just remember, the Germans crashed the German mark because they had a massive amount of war reparations after World War I, and they brought out the German mark at 10 times the value. Now, the geniusness of this was that they effectively eliminated 9/10 of their debt. Just expect something like this to come about. So if you've got $100 in the bank and they bring out a new international trading currency at 100 times the value, you could, rather than have $100 in the bank, you might have 100, whatever they call their new cryptocurrency, in the bank. You might only have one. So you might only have the equivalent of $1 left in the bank in value. So just keep that in mind. If they bring out a new currency that they use instead of the Australian dollar, the US dollar, or the euro, it could be cents on the dollar that you're going to have left in value. So I think we're heading in for very dangerous times right now. And, you know, if you're thinking of heading off over to Mexico or other parts of the world and you don't have a community that's already over there, or you're heading to Thailand or Laos or Vietnam and you don't know anyone, just be very cautious. You need to reevaluate your situation at this point in time. So I do know quite a few guys here in Thailand at this point in time that are getting ready to head back to the US and back to Australia. And there's a reason for that, which I won't talk about on this video. So just be very cautious about your movements at this point in time. So anyway, guys, I'm going to do another video later on, and I'll show you how to identify your